guess it's after 7, so we'll call the meeting to order. And the first order of business is a conditional use permit hearing for Michael and Diane Schmidt about building a cabin in an agricultural district. And I guess,
I'm Aaron Solom, I'm representing them because they're in Florida right now.
okay,
I'm just here. Do you have any questions?
I guess, do you want to just explain the project a little bit?
Yeah, let me read that hearing notice.
Oh, there we go, that's a good idea.
Please take notice that an application has been made by Michael and Diane Schmidt for a conditional use permit to build a cabin in an agricultural district in Black Hammer Township. A hearing on this application, said applicant standing and making the application are fee owners of said described lands. A hearing on this application will be held at the Historic Courthouse Commissioners Room, Caledonia, Minnesota, on Thursday, March 23rd. All persons having an interest in the matter will be given the opportunity to be heard relative to the granting or denying of said application. That was advertised on March 8th. So we permit cabins as conditional use permits. We limit them to 1 per quarter. Beyond that, there are not a lot of requirements for cabins. I guess the other things are they're limited to size, can't have power, and they can't become homes. This application satisfies all those requirements. They're looking to build on grassland atop a bluff. They're looking to access via either easement from the top or foot. They do own frontage on a county highway, though. That said, all those things are not required, but they're things that we possibly would consider. Beyond that, the specifics of the project, I guess I will let the representative augment anything else I've said, and open it up to questions from the board if there's anything that needs clarification in the reports that you received.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's just a 16 by 24 foot post and beam cabin. So, and the only question I have is they can't have a permanent foundation, but it says you can have poles. Can you have the poles attached to cement instead of going into the ground?
On a cement slab, you mean?
No, just a like a
Cement
cylinder.
Pier.
Oh, as a footer, you mean, like
Yeah.
as a footing?
Yeah, because it's a post and beam, and we can't really go into the ground. I don't know if you know. I got pictures if you want to look at what a post and beam, and to have 4 more feet going in the ground, it's just not gonna work. But we have to have it anchored somehow so the wind doesn't take it, because it's not made out of. It's made out of oak. It's not made out of treated lumber. So I'd like to just they want to put a cookie, like a 16-inch, 6 of them. There's just 6 posts, down 4 feet, and then anchor it onto them 6, instead of putting a post down into the ground.
My assumption would be, as long as it could be unfastened and moved and not permanently anchored, right, would be considered.
I think that the planning committee could allow that, yes. I guess we've gotten away from the skids of hard literal reading of what's in there because of safety concerns, and that these cabins there's no slope maximum for cabins. They could be on steeper slopes, and it seems that it could be hazardous to have something that's not secured. But to play off of what you said earlier about removal and not a permanent fixture, you could, if they could be removed more easily than, say, a slab, I think you're satisfying the spirit of the requirement.
And I don't know your guys' thoughts, but when you talk about non-permanent, I think if you could pull it off and move it, it would not be considered permanent, versus if you put pillars 4 feet into the ground, it wouldn't be, you couldn't just pick it up and move it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, thoughts?
I don't know if this is appropriate or not. We had last month, we had a fella in here that's putting up a greenhouse, and he has some type of anchor that is removable. I saw a demonstration of one. This make sense to be bringing this up?
Sounds like you're in rock. Is it kind of a rocky spot?
No, it's just I don't want to put those a post and beam, the posts go all the way from the ground
Yeah.
up through the
Yeah.
whole structure.
Mhm.
And, I mean, they're already gonna be, to get another timbers to bury, I don't wanna bury them in the ground so
Yeah.
it's gonna rot.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like most decks now are set on the cement.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be
So, I mean,
using,
if you ever did move it, you would just have to pull out those, those 6 pillars instead of the whole foundation.
And you just be putting basic like legs into
In
the
ground,
concrete
yeah.
to
Yeah,
hold
they're
it.
just gonna get fastened on top of the concrete, so
Mhm.
if you wanted it, it'd be easy to
Right.
remove if you ever wanted.
So you're actually gonna dig holes down, put concrete,
Right,
okay, okay.
right, fill the.
So
4
that,
feet
it would
for
be
you.
anchored with that, I think,
Yes,
without.
and then
doing
it'll get
any more.
anchored on top
Yep.
of that, so those timbers aren't going,
Sure.
are off the ground,
Mhm.
you know. 'Cause it's gonna, the first floor is gonna be off the ground, so it's gonna, it's gotta be anchored good, cause that wind will be underneath it.
Mhm.
I guess a question, Aaron, maybe this would be one for you. Would a slab of concrete be considered part of the structure or not?
Well, if you look at your staff reports on page 1,
Yep.
item B, that's the requirement.
Right.
So I think that it's appropriate for you to interpret that as you see fit as a committee.
Well, I guess that's my question. You talk about permanent foundation. If you had a slab of concrete, would that be permanent? Yeah, maybe. Like these pillars, would that be considered permanent if they're concrete into the ground? Maybe. But
Well,
is that
actually,
part of the cabin itself? You know, I
Actually,
mean,
concrete's not really permanent, you take a jackhammer to anything and get it out.
right, right. I mean, it's not a,
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I've encountered this before. Technically, if you had to move it, you could cut them off and
Right,
go.
right.
And
I
they'd
guess-
be- I mean, it'd be easy to
Yeah.
extract that piece of concrete,
I'll
Yeah.
add that there may be a disconnect between this requirement and the fact that this is permitted as a conditional use permit and not an interim use permit, and that it's a perpetual permit we're granting. So there's no really reason why it has to be
Removable.
removable or temporary, other than we have that language in there right now. That might be something that one could propose a change in the future, either saying that they should be permitted on a temporary basis, or that they can be built in a permanent way. As it is right now, it seems like they're competing things. That's why I guess I've been comfortable saying that they need to be safely attached to the ground. It doesn't have to float on skids. I would be comfortable with you all taking that to whatever end you want to take it to.
You just want to get below the frost line, right?
right?
Yeah.
And anchored good, so the
Yep.
wind will-
Right.
I don't have a problem with that.
No. I guess I'd rather see it anchored than,
Keep it safe.
right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Is there any other discussion on the proposal? And I guess we'd entertain a motion to, are we there?
We're through the findings?
Oh, we haven't done findings, and we
Yeah.
should do comments from the public.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm usually the vice chairman,
Yep.
the chairman's not here, so this is new. So the findings are next, or?
Well, are there any comments from members of the public? No. All right, so findings would be next. I would suggest that we accept the findings as presented in the staff report, unless there are any that we'd like additional discussion on.
I have no questions.
I have none either. Do we need a motion to do that? I make a
Yes,
Make a motion to accept the findings as presented by the staff analysis.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
So should the, so should the permit be granted, staff recommends the following condition: the permittee shall comply with all federal, state, and local laws and regulations. So with that condition, you could seek a motion to grant or deny.
I will make a motion, we grant the requested conditional use.
Second. Oh, all yours.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next application is from Gary Jorgensen. I'll read the notice. Please take notice that an application has been made by Gary and Pauline Jorgensen for a conditional use permit to build a dwelling on less than 40 acres in an ag district in Mound Prairie Township. Said applicants standing and making application are as holders and owners of an enforceable option to purchase full interest in said described lands. A hearing on this application will be held at the Historic Courthouse in the city of Caledonia on Thursday, March 23rd. All persons having an interest in the matter will be given the opportunity to be heard relative to the granting or denying of said application. This was advertised on March 8th. The proposal here is for a split off of I believe, 160-acre parcel of 7 acres, I believe, to build a non-farm dwelling. It satisfies all the conditions of a non-farm dwelling. Your staff reports can contain extensive information on this. Staff report was mailed to the applicant. I guess if there's anything that you would want to add to the information contained therein,
No.
please do so. If there's any questions regarding that staff report from the committee.
No, it'd be kind of a neat spot. It's a little high right there, right? Overlooking kind of the road, if I'm thinking right.
Yep, nice spot.
Yeah. The driveway, I'm assuming, Aaron, that's the dotted red line is gonna come out where after the road kind of comes up.
Yep.
Up on top there, so it's not gonna be a steep driveway. You're just gonna turn in right there.
Yep, right on the edge of the woods, and it'll come in right on the flat, where it's just a little bit of grade,
Yep.
just enough so you get a little drainage.
There you go. Okay.
The one additional piece of information I didn't put in the staff report are just soils maps in case anyone is interested in it. So if you look at the maps it provided, it seems like it's all one big field. So I just wanted to show that we are dealing with a Class 7 soil in that location.
Are there feedlots in the area? Close by?
Well, I don't know if existing, Paul Heglin's would that still be a feedlot down there?
I guess I don't know which one it is, but the nearest one I'm saying is 3/4 of a mile to the west.
Yep.
That'd be
That'd be Kevin Paulson,
Kevin Paulson's, yeah.
it's a little ways away.
Yeah. Yep.
Any questions from anybody other than that?
Comments from members of the public?
Read the findings?
Again, I would, and I don't believe we need a motion for the findings, but again, I would suggest that we accept them as presented in the staff reports unless anyone would like further discussion on any of the,
Should we ask for a motion on that then to?
No, he said he didn't.
I don't think we need a motion on
No.
that. I think just stating it is sufficient. Should the permit be granted, recommend the condition that the permittee shall comply with all federal, state, and local laws and regulations. You could seek a motion to approve or deny.
I will make a motion that we grant the conditional use permit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there minutes from a prior meeting that need approval?
Yes, there are. Everybody have a chance to look at them and everything, so. Ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
We just comment on the 2 permits that were issued, right? We don't have.
Oh, right, I guess I'm not even looking at an agenda. Any questions on the permits?
No questions here.
Other business?
That's all we have, isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah, you can seek a motion to
I seek a
adjourn.
motion to
I will make a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second. Record time?
that was quick. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yep. Good job.
Kinda
Yeah,
like
folks.